Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Ghosts and more personalization DLC has actually come to Call of Duty Ghosts, and it is absurd how much DLC is actually coming to this game in the form of personalization DLC. I mean, they haven't really done anything special in terms of map packs, right? The map packs are kind of standard across the board in line with all the other Call of Duty games, but in terms of personalization DLC and the amount of DLC camos and character packs that you can add to your character is absurd in this game. I see some of you guys saying, well, this is a lot in here. Don't you think this is too much DLC? Here's the thing, guys, it's personalization DLC. It does not affect the game whatsoever, and if you want to get it, you can. If you like the game enough that you want to spend money and get some different kinds of camos or get some different kind of character packs for your guy, then that's fine. You're not required to buy any of this. It's just kind of cool. I actually do like this. It's one of the things I actually do approve of when they add a ton of different personalization DLC to a game, because it doesn't matter. You can just buy it if you want to. If you like the game, you can go ahead and buy it. If you don't like the game or you don't think that you want to buy a camo for $2, then okay, you don't need to. It doesn't affect the game at all. So what we got with this new personalization DLC is actually going to be 6 new weapon camos, as well as 3 new character packs, as well as they took the Ripper, which was the submachine gun / assault rifle hybrid that you got from the second DLC pack, and the Maverick, which is an assault rifle and a sniper rifle from the first DLC pack, and you can now buy the weapons individually without buying the entire DLC pack. So first, let's start talking about the guns. So the Ripper and the Maverick are both going to be $4. It's kind of a lot, I think, $3.99 for just a gun, but if you think about it, if you don't plan on buying the DLC, for example, I did not like the second DLC pack at all. I really didn't think it was really worth $15 because I don't like the maps really in the second DLC pack really at all. But if you don't want to buy the maps, but you do want the awesome Ripper, which is something a lot of people were asking me about because the Ripper's a really cool gun, it's very unique, and it's actually very good. They're wondering whether or not they should just buy the DLC regardless just for the Ripper. And I'm like, you're paying $15 just for the Ripper. But now you can pay $3.99 and buy the Ripper without having to buy the atrocious maps that came with the second DLC pack. As well as for $3.99, you can buy the Maverick rifle and sniper rifle, which was in the first DLC pack, without buying the map. So let's say you haven't bought any of the maps so far, but you really think the Maverick looks kind of cool, you think the Ripper looks kind of cool, well, if you drop $8, which is almost half the price of one map pack, you can get all the weapons. You can get the Maverick sniper rifle, the Maverick assault rifle, as well as the Ripper submachine gun and assault rifle hybrid. So you guys can go ahead and do that. Let's start talking about the character packs. So there are 3 new character packs here. One is Blunt Force, which, don't get me started on Blunt Force, that's just atrocious. And second is going to be Inferno, which is kind of like a fiery look to your character if you guys like that. And the third one's going to be Bling, which is kind of like based upon the Bling camo, and it's all about money and gold and dollar signs and things like that. And for me personally, I didn't buy any of these. That's why I'm just showing you the picture of one, because for me, it doesn't make sense to buy character packs. I mean, Call of Duty is strictly a first-person game. Whatever you put on your character, you're not going to be able to see anyway, so why spend extra money to not be able to see something? It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. If you want to go ahead and do challenges, try and unlock different kind of face masks and stuff to make your character look kind of cool while you're in a loading screen, do challenges and unlocking things, I'm okay with that. I do that myself. It's like, oh cool, I finally got that paintball looking mask. That thing looks cool, you know? I go for those, but to pay money for them, it's like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Next up, we're going to be talking about the personalization camos. So there's going to be 6 new ones. The first one here is actually going to be Leopard, which, can you guess it? What is this camo themed around? It's themed around the leopard, and it looks like kind of like a leopard's fur right there. It looks pretty good on your gun. It really does. It almost has kind of like a 1970s look to it, just because, of course, you know, leopard and cheetah and all that were really popular back then. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Definitely not my favorite of this personalization pack, but it's rather good looking nonetheless. The second one we're going to be looking at is going to be Abstract. Now, Abstract is a pretty cool looking camo, in my opinion. So you look at this thing, man, it's like ink splattered. It's like an ink splattered abstract painting almost. It's almost like they took a bunch of different colors and put them on different paintbrushes and just kind of whipped them. Like, you know that style of art where people just kind of like put paint on a brush and just kind of whip it at the canvas? That's really kind of what you got right here. Just a bunch of different colors, very abstract looking, which of course is called Abstract. I think it looks pretty cool. I think it's one of my favorite camos of this personalization pack. Next up, we have HYDRA, which HYDRA, of course, is the serpent dragon monster thing from Greek mythology. And this one's kind of like, it's almost like a dragon look, really, the camo itself. It's supposed to be like a fire-breathing dragon style of an idea, so that therefore it's kind of like orangish that kind of represent the fire, and then you've got the symbols of different kinds of hydras throughout it and stuff. So it looks pretty neat. I like the way it looks. It's definitely very bright. It kind of reminds me of the Beast camo from Black Ops 2, which of course is one of the newer personalization DLCs that came to Black Ops 2. Even though the game's out of its prime, they're still adding personalization DLC because so many people still play that game. And it reminds me a lot, actually, of the Beast camo. I think it looks cool. I don't think there's a whole lot of orange camos in Call of Duty. There's the fall camos and the autumn camos. But aside from that, there's really nothing revolving around the color oranges or the warmer colors like oranges or maybe like a dark brown or maybe kind of like a burnt red. There's not really a whole lot of camos around that, and this kind of fixes that, and it looks pretty cool. Next up, we have Skulls, and Skulls is... well, pretty much what you would expect. It's covered in a bunch of different kinds of skulls, and I don't know, this one really seems uninspired to me. It reminds me, of course, a lot of the map Departed and some of the different kind of skull stuff you see themed around that map, which was in the 3rd DLC pack, for maps anyway. And you look at that, it kind of reminds me a lot of that. It's almost like a Guns N' Roses kind of feel, but for me, it's like, just really not a big fan of skulls. So this is what it looks like, and yeah, you guys might like it. Who knows? That's the whole point of these videos, is to show you guys what the camos look like, and so you guys can see whether or not you guys like the camos. Next up, we have Tattoo, and Tattoo is actually more of a sailor theme. It's more of a nautical theme. It's got a bunch of anchor tattoos on it, as well as a bunch of different kind of like nautical stars and things like that. It's basically kind of like a sailor's kind of thing. Although, if you look at it, you wouldn't really think it's really more of a sailor style camo. You might think there'd be, I don't know, blue on a sailor camo, but it isn't. It's got anchor tattoos, it's got nautical stars, and then some other stuff thrown on there. It's all about tattoos. Maybe you guys like that camo. Me personally, I thought it was kind of uninspired, but I do kind of like the color palette of it, because it's like, you don't really see that. It's a very different looking camo in Call of Duty. I think it's kind of unlike anything we've ever really seen before. So it looks pretty cool. And the final one that we got with this personalization pack is going to be the Nebula. So Nebula, it looks freaking awesome. This is definitely my favorite camo of this personalization pack. It's actually based upon actual nebulas, which are essentially space clouds. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. There's greens and there's purples and there's yellows and there's, you know, pinks almost. And there's just a bunch of different awesome colors. I'm not even really a big space guy, but this camo looks really, really, really cool. And of course, all of these 6 different camos are all $1.99 each. But of course, this video, hopefully you guys can check that out and look at them and determine whether or not you guys want to possibly buy one of these camos or not. I'm using the Maverick throughout all these camo displays just because I finally bought the Maverick. There's kind of an issue for me. I said this many times, so I'll say it quickly. I bought DLC Pack 1 on the Xbox One for Call of Duty Ghosts, right? The first map pack, which included the Maverick. But then I realized not so many people actually play the Xbox One. So I went back to the Xbox 360 where there's a lot more people, and I can actually find matches, because at the time I was playing at like 2 or 3 in the morning, so my sleep schedule was awful, and there was just never anybody online at that time. So I went back to the 360, and when I went back there, I didn't have my Maverick rifle or my first DLC. They wanted me to buy it again. So it's kind of cool that they gave me the option to just buy the Maverick for $4 rather than spend the $15 on the maps. I think it's kind of a cool thing that they did that. And that is basically our new personalization DLC here within Call of Duty Ghosts. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments, of course, which camo you guys think is pretty cool, and which camo do you guys like the best. I have a feeling Nebula is going to be everybody's favorite because that thing is amazing looking. Some of the ones were kind of uninspired in my opinion, but some of the ones were pretty cool looking, and of course Nebula is just fantastic. Might be one of the best camos I've ever actually seen in Call of Duty ever. I mean, it's just a very good camo. I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like on a bunch of different guns. Of course, I've only seen it so far on the Maverick, but it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. Let me know which one is your guys' favorite. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.